Welcome to the 187th episode of News Dump, where we run through the hottest topics in the Lewis County news scene and discuss. I'm local man Aaron VanTuyl, joined by Chronicle executive editor Eric Schwartz, Chronicle photographer Kody Christen, and a special guest, Chronicle photo. Are you the photo editor?
Photographer.
Just photographer?
Yeah.
She's a photo editor.
But I mean, if we're talking like rank between,
Are we going to let her explain?
if
Ridley,
She ranks above me.
I'm
Ridley
not
Hudson
explaining
is
my
here.
rank.
there you go. Ridley, we're happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
We're also joined by sponsors Summit Funding, Shayless Outfitters, and the Roof Doctor, in spirit, of course. And what do you guys want to do? Preambles or what's? You want to talk to Ridley?
Did you guys all see the Northern Lights?
I did see
Because
him.
I saw everyone's photos of them like 50 times. I woke up on Saturday with hundreds of emails of photos of the sky.
Yeah. And you were like, what is that? And they were like,
Aurora Borealis? Aurora Borealis. At this time of year, at this time of day, in this part of the country, localized entirely within your kitchen.
it's a Simpsons bit.
Yeah, all right. But yeah, I couldn't share all of them. The last one I got that I knew we were done with the reader-submitted Northern Lights photos was just a bunch of shirtless kids down in Toledo. Like,
this one?
Yes, that's the one.
I was just going to ask about that.
I just didn't have enough context. I didn't know, why are they all shirtless?
So this kid, I talked to this kid at a basketball game this year. His name's Aiden Deskins. Shout out Aiden. He's interested in photography, so there's that. And he said he sent this to me, and he's like, "This is the Northern Lights from Toledo." And I was like, "Hell yeah, dude! You should send that to News at Cronline to see if I get it posted."
So you're responsible.
Yeah.
It wasn't like there was nothing wrong with it. I just like needed a little more information. Like that was like 1 a.m. Why are they all in their like swimming trunks with no shirts on?
The pick goes hard, man.
It was not it was not warm. Like it was a pretty cool evening.
It was like 50. It was fine.
Is that what you were doing out in Doty when you got your
think
pictures?
I had my shirt on? Yeah, come on.
You and Dylan, the sports editor down there.
Dylan did not go with me.
He was in Doty independently. He said,
Yeah, he just asked me where I was going, and I said Doty, and he thought, I guess, I knew the greatest place, but people in Adna saw it just fine in their backyard. I kind of wasted a trip, but it's okay.
Ridley, you were in Montana. Did you see the lights there?
I did. I saw them from our local bar.
So you were not taking pictures.
I was with my phone.
Gotcha. Background on Ridley, you've been working here now since February?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And when her application came through, she had really wonderful photos, but she's a University of Montana grad, correct?
Yes.
And as Aaron knows, we have a long, rich pipeline of Montana graduates here.
God, Brandon,
Kyle Spur.
Amy? Didn't Amy come from
Amy
Montana?
Nile, Justina Tomtis, Damian Pizzanti,
Right there was Centralia
Brandon
College
Hansen came
pipeline.
directly from. What's that?
Right there was the Centralia College pipeline.
Yeah, I think the Montana one might be stronger. So
I think it is.
Ridley, why did you get into photojournalism, and tell us a little bit about your background, some of the other jobs you've had, and why you are a much better photographer than Kody?
Well, one, I graduated college.
I'm working on it, man. Damn.
Well, actually, in high school, my English teacher asked me to fill a spot for this thing we do called Page One, and it was the journalism spot. And I had a camera that I had just gotten, and I went to take photos at the local animal shelter for this project I did for that project, and fell in love with photography. And then I did my senior project in Yellowstone, Montana. So combined my love with photography and Montana and decided to go to University of Montana.
Well, and
Journalism
news
school.
is kind of the family business, right?
Sure.
The Hudson News?
Good
Yeah, no, I've never heard of that.
It's a store in the airport where you can buy a magazine or...
Oh, I thought it was a luggage store.
No.
Oh. My bad. Not paying attention.
And so University of Montana, sworn enemy of Eastern Washington University, and where I've graduated from. I have to know, do they even know we exist?
Well, you actually told me after you hired me that you went to school there.
Mm-hmm.
And I said it didn't matter because we beat you guys in anything anyways.
But that's that's a whole other thing. We could get into that. The numbers tell a different story, dating back. But
we're not worried.
yeah, we don't have to get into that. So from Montana, University of Montana, you went to the Bozeman Chronicle for an internship?
Yes, I did that my junior year summer of college. And then after college, I went to Michigan to work for MLive, mass media company there. Really fun. Got to shoot a Lions game. Then I ended up here.
Of the 2 Chronicles you've worked at, which is the lesser Chronicle? You have to be honest.
Oh, gosh.
Mm-hmm. Are we the lesser Chronicle?
They're 2 very different Chronicles.
I see. I would assume so. Fine, don't burn the Bozeman Chronicle. That's what I was hoping you would do. Burn Kody.
I'm gonna leave.
No. You're fine. Kody, tell us.
They asked me to host this podcast. By the way, for anyone listening,
This
is what happens.
We did. This is the first time in a long time we've had 2 photographers. I think Aaron, 2011, probably 2010.
Who would that have been? Pete and a Schreiber?
Swanson.
Or
Yeah,
a
something
Swanson?
like that. But it's been really nice having both of you guys around to take photos. Kody, you described the difference in your guys' styles at one point. I would like for you to repeat that here.
Yeah, well, so Ridley went to journalism school, and I'm sure they taught her lots of important things about how to take photos for news and whatnot. And pretty much everything I learned through photography was kind of trial and error and whatever Alec and Josh taught me.
Mm-hmm.
And
Who were both trained photographers.
yeah, not at all. And so, yeah, basically, when I look for a shot, I just look for whatever is going to look cool. And I think the way I described it bluntly was Ridley shoots what she was like trained to shoot, and I just shoot what I think is cool shit.
Yes, that is how you put it.
Yeah.
I will say, though, that journalism school, I mean, our school's motto is learn by doing. So a lot of my skills I've learned from what you said, trial and error.
Yeah.
So we just have done it 2 different ways.
I guess, yeah.
I thought your university's motto was better luck next year, but that
Well,
sounds good too.
That's the one that's not on the brochure.
Gotcha. Got you. What has been your favorite thing to shoot since you've been here? You did go to the animal shelter, so that was like a callback towards your first assignment.
I did. I said that to my mom. Throwback. That's tough. I feel like I've been doing so much. I have to say anything outdoors is always really fun. It's really fun to get outdoors. Sports here is really fun too. Kindergarten Dairy Days was really fun. The river run was really fun. Shout out.
And you didn't dump any gear into the river, so that was appreciated.
I did not.
That was good. I think that's the first time we've shot it with a drone. You were like following them down the river. I thought that was very cool as well.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Kind of a dicey move to follow a bunch of PL people who've been drinking with a drone. Like, I feel like they're going to have some thoughts about that.
Your Adna's coming out. Your hatred for PL.
It wouldn't be any better than Adna, let me tell you.
Everyone knows PL has the finer farm animals. It's just a
How
fact.
dare you?
No, that was pretty much it, Ridley. I just wanted to introduce you. It has nothing to do with the fact that we got an email this week at chroniclenewsjump@gmail.com asking for female representation on the podcast.
The truth comes out.
We were unswayed by that. It just is pure coincidence that happened. So, yeah, you've been really pleasant to be here. It sounds like you have some assignments tonight, so you don't have to stick around. Aaron's going to start spewing venom any minute now. And
I got some takes in this one.
Get all over us. But you're going to cover, let's see, you're going to go to Centralia City Council and shoot some police awards tonight.
Yep.
And possibly the VFW event, I think, is honoring a Rochester girl for a speech. And then, Kody, you also have to find an exit. What are you shooting tonight, Kody?
Go ahead.
And please speak appropriately using non-offensive terms.
Can I, should I try to use non-offensive terms, or should I read the actual title of the event?
That's fine. That's fine.
Hang on a second. I will be traveling out to the wonderful city of Morton here in a couple minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for the Facebook post so I can get all my info right. Hang on.
Oh, don't worry. We'll just leave dead air here. That's fine.
Yeah. Speaking of the mic, Kody.
Go ahead. Just talk.
I'll just answer. Kody is going to Morton to shoot little person wrestling. Is probably the best way you could say that.
Okay,
I want to stress that I did not assign him to this. And
okay,
I had thought he'd forgotten about it. And
it showed up in the Slack.
And he's going on his own.
It showed up in Slack, and I'm pretty sure someone asked if anyone wanted to cover it.
Go ahead. What
I
is
don't know
it?
if it was you. Oh, it's so the Facebook says the biggest little wrestling show of all time is coming to G&T's Adult Daycare Bar and Grill for the first time in Morton, and the promotion is called Micro Wrestling All Stars.
Okay.
And it starts at 7:00 tonight.
And you're going to go out there and collect some photos that I did not request.
Someone requested them.
And
Nobody requested them.
see if you can find a
not want me to
buyer
go?
to get published. No, you're fine. I know you've really been looking forward to this.
No, it's just another assignment, man.
You haven't
Another
dressed
day
this
in the
well in
life.
weeks.
Oh, we should also say for those interested, Kody and I have a photo competition going on right now.
Oh, yeah.
Or
I forgot about
what's
that.
the score right now?
I believe.
Speaking of the mic.
Let me check.
I think it's 9-7 or something like that.
No, it's closer.
I think it's 8-9.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's me 8, Ridley 9.
And then
That's close.
Yeah, because it got close, which is really debatable. Just let me tell you.
Oh, okay.
He and Zach in the sports department have changed the rules to where
that was totally Zach.
to where a postseason photo is now worth 2 points. So
Ridley,
I like that move.
Ridley agreed to that move, by the way.
I didn't remember agreeing to this.
She did.
So this is every time they shoot sports at the same time, they each submit one photo to an esteemed panel of judges, which I am on and Aaron is not. For some reason. I don't know why you're not in that.
It boggles the mind. Why would I have any influence or takes on local high school sports
Well, you
photos?
famously would go and like cover games and like write up full stories and refuse to even take one photo to go with it.
Yeah,
So,
I had other shit to do. Lay out the pages.
Just say it. Like, it takes a second to
I've
take a
taken
picture.
photos before.
You can take like a logo picture or something, just to stand them on the wall. You just say you're not
Yeah, go ahead.
qualified.
Tell me more about how my sports administration was so bad.
You're not qualified. Or when we have those awesome celebration shots, like, have you guys noticed if you get a good celebration shot,
Never goes in the paper.
never goes in the paper?
Look at yesterday's paper.
You could have 50,
Tuesday?
like 11 soccer players, just total jubilation, lifting a trophy, just great. And then you're going to find a black and white photo of somebody kicking a ball on page B6.
Do you even know how the paper works? You don't have, we don't have black and white photos. What are
We
you talking
used to.
about?
We used to. We're colored now. I had to do that just to correct your mistakes.
God, you're so whiny.
Anyways, pleasure to have both of you guys. You're welcome to stick around, or you can.
Wait, I have one more question for
Okay.
Kody. Cody, you went to the Japanese festival in Tenino this weekend.
I did.
How'd your kimono fit?
I didn't get fitted for a kimono, no.
You should have, man. Should dive down in
I
there.
had to get down to the Adna for the Sausage Fest. I was in a hurry.
Oh,
I had lots of
and
events
you
going on.
didn't want to be the only guy at the Adna Sausage Fest in a kimono, huh?
Cody did really well on Saturday. You shot the Toledo Fishing Derby and the Winlock Napavine area recycling event, Sausage Fest, Japanese Festival, and the Northern Lights shots that you turned in after everyone in Lewis County had already turned in their shots. It's okay.
know. I can't edit photos unless I'm in the office because my laptop isn't good enough to. And that's the first time I was back in the office since I
I'm
took
not
them. So
worried about it. You got lots of good photos.
if anyone is wondering going forward why a crazy event happened 2 days ago and Cody's photos just now got in, that's why.
I see.
Because I have a laptop that I got for free.
I thought it was you were spending the day on the lake with your boys.
No, but I did Saturday. I managed to shoot all of those 4 events and make it out to Mayfield by 3 p.m. and be on the water. So
Sun's out, guns
hell
out.
yeah, that was a pretty impressive day for me in my photojournalism career.
That's good. You're doing great, Kody. And as I always tell you, we only give you a hard time because we like you.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
But I think
anymore.
I'm pushing it. Like, I'm old enough now to I've learned you can do that enough, and then eventually somebody's just going to feel like they're attacked. So I've called a truce.
I haven't
Yeah.
got there yet, but it's gotten borderline a couple times.
Cody's
cut
about to
line-
file a union grievance.
The cut line comments are really starting to bug me.
Well, you
God,
know,
if
there's
only
a
there were a
simple
solution.
Yeah, I know. I know there's a solution. Maybe copy and paste them all into a Google Doc so they spell check, and that's what I do. But it still doesn't work.
There's
sometimes.
just like, I mean, it's just that we don't need to get into it
Yeah,
here,
we're-
Cody.
No, yeah,
There's-
I know. It's okay. I'm not gonna. It's fine. I know my cut lines suck sometimes,
No,
and
no,
I
no,
need to
they
do
don't.
better.
They don't suck, Cody. You're
They're
doing good.
misspelled
You're
sometimes.
enough. You're enough. You're enough, Cody.
No, it's okay. This is how I work. I need to get better.
I just say this.
I take criticism well.
Ridley brought with her the practice of filing a lot more photos than we were accustomed to, which I love. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Cut lines are clean. I don't have to go in and like edit them. And then you adopted that, and it just takes a little more time processing. But you know what? I'm glad to do it because your photos are really good. And yeah, you're doing wonderful.
Yeah, I definitely did increase the photo output when Ridley got here because I know Jared used to turn in like 10 per assignment.
Well, I
or
thought
so,
he
right?
turned in a lot because prior to him, we had Pete Castor, the current News Tribune.
Well, I guess I was
photographer.
just going off of like, well, Josh taught me when I started taking photos, like just for the sports department. You know, he was like, if you can get 10 to 15 good photos, that's great. And I
Yeah.
guess I just like naturally carried that over to news.
No, I think it's great. And I like having even more photos too because it gives us more material to play with. But like I said, before you guys, we had Pete, before Jared, I guess, we had Pete, and his policy was to file just the photos he would be okay with us running.
Yeah.
So he would have like a really artsy shot that was just horrible, like just like a long exposure of football players running out of a tunnel that just was a bunch of streaks.
The motion blur.
Yeah, and so you'd ask him to file
That sounds kinda
more,
sick.
and he'd say, if I filed more, then you're not going to run that shot. And I'm like, I'm not running that shot no matter what.
So
So
you
joke's
don't
on
understand. You don't understand how tough that shot is to get. It's like nobody is trying to get that shot.
That's a photographer thing. If you guys could confirm for me, are there photographers that are just shooting for other photographers? Like they're using different like technical like compositions, things that
I think they'll
another
take-
photographer only would be
Yeah.
like, oh, that's amazing what you did. But the public would just be like,
Yeah, for sure. I think like I don't know if it's like they do an entire assignment like that, but they'll definitely try and get a couple photos like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I think sports is a big one for that. Like track, if once you feel like you've gotten the shots you need, then you can start playing around with the long exposures and stuff like that. And it is really fun to include those, but personally, I wouldn't put that as a lead photo. 'Cause
sick burn on Pete right there.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm telling Pete.
no.
Yeah, you don't want Pete mad at you. No.
Well, thank you for joining us, and thank you for working for us, and good luck on your assignments this evening. Cody, you better represent us well out there.
I will.
All right.
Yeah, don't make us look like clowns. Do you want to take a quick break?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right, we're back. It was great having Ridley and Kody on. Don't you agree?
Yes, Cody wanted to make sure we reminded everyone that he's 19, and it's not that he dropped out of college, it's that he's still in college, and he felt that that was a inappropriate burn on behalf of Ridley.
And a lot of people tell him he looks like he's 26.
Yes.
People are telling him all the time. People coming up to him in the streets, tears in their eyes. Sir, you're at least 26, sir.
No, but they are both great, and they're both good representations of the number one reason I have remained in this job for this amount of time is just the cool people you get to meet from all corners, except for Adna. But it's just nice. It's fun. I think I've worked with maybe one person in my entire nearly 20 years that I would not break bread with at this time.
Yeah, they are.
But I still do a
far-
podcast with you, so it's
That's
like
true.
it's
That's
fine.
fair. They are by far the two coolest photographers we've had in the last 20 years. I can vouch for
I
that.
can't say that. I can't say that. Can't get there yet. Brandon Swanson, come on.
Swanson was
Dan
a real
Schreiber?
one. Yeah, Donnie
He
Scribbles.
also worked here.
He did work here. Should we do news?
Let's do it.
First, I have a lot of news. I got a little carried away with the notes last night. I was having too much fun.
It's okay. Just burn through it. We'll move through.
All right, filing week. Lewis County PUD Commissioner race draws 5 candidates. We've got Jelona Spear, Dave Fenn, Angie Brown, Jerry Lord, and Julie Bamelli Powell.
Pow. Just pow, not pow.
Oh, Powell?
Yeah.
Pow! Typo. Anyway, they've all filed to run for a 6-year term on the commission. This is a nice assembly of the people you may know list on Facebook.
Yeah, no, I thought that was true. I love this race. I think this is my favorite race on the ballot because the PUD has been such a hot topic.
I thought White's was your favorite race.
That's pretty messed up that you would even say that as a joke, Aaron. I hope you don't get canceled and that it's not just me and Cody here next week.
I might cut that. I don't know.
But yeah, you threw me with that. No, it was nice to see so many people jump in. The incumbent is not running, I think, as you stated. Is that Ed Rothland, I believe?
I think so, based on the names and where I recall Ed
it's
Rothland.
Ed Rothland.
Yeah.
He ended up letting us know on Friday right before deadline, which I appreciated, so we didn't wait. We have the deadline where you could file till 5, but our deadline for the print edition is at 2, so we're just like,
Well, Ed Rothland's a class act. Always has been.
But yeah, no, I like this race a lot. Former city councilor Jerry Lord, M&K Town Store
Former
proprietor.
Market Street pub owner.
Julie Balmelli Powell, who I think she was on the Flood Authority. She also worked for the Herrera Butler office for a while.
I believe she ran for a Shavel School Board.
Dave Fenn, he's out from your neck of the woods, and he's never been shy about sending me an email when I make an error. Just to let me know.
Accurate.
And then I don't know as much about Angie Brown, Jelona Spear. I look forward to Mitchell Rowland's reporting on that because we're going to definitely profile each of these candidates before the race. And the top 2 will move on to the general election. But I think it tells you there's a lot of interest in the PUD. It's like the hydrogen project going on. Smart meters, maybe? Who knows?
Yeah, that could be. a tipping point for some people.
I don't know that anyone in this is in it for the smart meter. Most of what we got back is just, they want. It's just nice to see so many people running for a seat on something like the Lewis County PUD, where you would go years and years of just the incumbent running and no one else challenging.
Yeah, it's cool to see.
It's nice to see people wanting to get in on that.
Lewis County Fire District.
Hey, wait. I was going to use filing week as a keyhole into the the Bob Ferguson saga. What did you think about that, Aaron? We had Bob Ferguson, the Attorney General file, and then Glenn Morgan of We the Governed backed two other Bob Fergusons who ran, and then that was Friday that news broke, and then Monday morning, Attorney General Bob Ferguson held a press conference calling for criminal charges against the other Bob Ferguson.
I believe he just suggested that local prosecutors, if they are able, should correctly prosecute.
Yes, he called for criminal charges against the other Bob Fergusons. No, I don't actually think he's wrong. I'm on the side of if that was the intent in order to mislead voters, obviously you shouldn't have done that.
You're saying Glenn Morgan was...
I'm only giggling because it was just a funny news cycle. It really was.
It was also, a lot of people didn't pick up on this. This was a plot point in the latest season of the television program Fargo.
You told me that, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that's where Glenn Morgan got the idea? Yeah. Okay.
I do.
I've not watched the show, so I don't know. Anyways, both Bob Ferguson's, other Bob Fergusons, not the Attorney General Bob Ferguson, bowed out before the 5 p.m. deadline he had given them to get out of the race.
Yeah.
And I just appreciated that one of them said that they were doing so under duress. This is my 3-day dream of becoming governor of Washington, and you've destroyed it.
Since Tuesday, I have dreamed of being governor of this fine state.
Politics aside, it's just nice to have a nice filing week story like this.
It's a little, it gives you a little levity.
It does.
Not as it is doom and gloom as some things are.
It draws attention to it. Your boy, your favorite local lawmaker, Jim Walsh.
Yes.
Also GOP chair, he got a good burn in though, where it was just a little brief. I think it was on the Center Square where he just said, it's nice to see the Attorney General threatening to crack down on Class B felonies again. So he got a jab in.
Yeah, that was a good.
Delivered some laughing emojis online.
I'm sure Jim workshopped it around tweeting at incels and things like that.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, but anyways, that was just fun, and I just wanted to note it. And the press had a good time with it too. I think was it Seattle Times had the bump words on their headline of "Bob's your uncle."
I think they did, yeah.
Everybody was having fun with the Bob's headline. I think everybody saw the levity in it, like you mentioned, and it didn't get too serious in coverage, and yeah, it was a fun news
How much thought did you put into changing a headline to "Won't the real Bob Ferguson please stand up"?
I did think about that quite a bit. I didn't want to do that because we didn't report on it like ourselves. It was just we were picking up coverage from other newspapers, and I didn't want to change their headline, but it did cross my mind. Very astute, Aaron.
Mm-hmm. All right, now, Lewis County Fire District 5 terminates contract with chief, more like fired chief.
Yeah.
Brent Adams is the fire chief in question. He was hired in January after their last fire chief was fired without cause. Brent Adams moved his family down from Pierce County to take this job in Napavine. They did not give a reason for firing him, but Greg Peterson is once again stepping in as an interim fire chief. What happened?
We don't really know yet because we got a statement. We reached out and asked what the deal is. I'm hoping, I think I shared this with you, and hopefully it's okay to say this, but we did get an inquiry from the fired chief, Brent Adams, about how to submit a letter to the editor. So I'm kind of hoping he'll shed some light on it. Mm-hmm. I do agree with your point previously that it's not a great look to have this happen. In going out to hire again, you have to wonder who would take a job. If I was taking an editor job and the last 2 editors were fired without cause.
After and the last one had been on the job for 4 months, 5 months.
In a short amount of time. And I don't know what's going on in the background. Hopefully we find out. But I do want to say, he was mentioned in the newsroom quite a bit because of how responsive he was, for us. Anytime in that brief window he's worked here that we had any sort of inquiry whatsoever, he was very quick to respond with detailed information. So as far as the outward facing job of, informing the public, he did a very nice job. I do want to say that.
Yeah. So it will be interesting. I will be waiting to hear what he says in his letter to the editor, which I hope comes through
I
soon.
hope it does come through. And we're also working, if anyone's wondering, Lewis County Fire District 6 has also, we're told, maybe done similar with their chief. So
Okay.
we don't have that confirmed yet, but we are working on it and have some public records requests in, and hopefully we'll have some news on it.
Okay. Next item. Sheriff's Office says human remains found in Onalaska area are linked to, quote, previously investigated homicide with a known victim. They found remains in Onalaska. But which known homicide could this be? We have so many. Phrasing it like that implies a knowing wink, but there are so many previously investigated homicides with known victims and no satisfying conclusion that it doesn't seem to mean anything.
Yeah, we
Do
do
you have any insights, sir?
I don't have anything that I know publicly. I have inklings like everyone else does, and we're waiting on a positive ID. I think Warren McLeod at the Lewis County Coroner's Office was working with the King County Medical Examiner's Office, but perhaps I'm told that they've got a decent idea who this might be, and we will report that at the time that it's released. I will say, as critical as I have been of the Sheriff's Office at times for releasing information, it was nice to get a news release right away and have that information out to the public, just so there's like no wondering. I think we all think Aaron Christensen in this situation. If you find remains and don't tell anyone about it for some time, then it causes problems. So I do want to say it was appreciated to get that news release out, and what information we have is better than nothing at all.
You think it's D.B. Cooper?
I think we both know it's D.B. Cooper. No, I don't want to make light of this. I don't think it's D.B. Cooper, no.
Okay, fine.
I don't.
Next item. Construction of WinCo's supermarket begins at Centralia Station development.
You said it would never happen.
Construction equipment is now on site as contractors begin building the new location. Midway Underground started on the first stage after the bid was approved in August of 2022. It's been in the works for quite a while, and I'm happy to see it come to completion, Port of Centralia Commissioner Kyle Markstrom said. Not so fast, everybody. I'll believe WinCo's coming when I am paying $7.99 for a 2-pound bag of fish sticks and not a moment before.
I'm on the record as saying I'm going to continue to do my shopping at Fuller's Shopping Cart. That's my spot, and I'm loyal to that business. But I would also be lying if I said I'm not going to have to peruse their ready-to-eat lunch meals from time to time.
I'm going to cruise on up there.
But that's going to be money not taken from Fuller's Shopping Cart. It's going to be money taken from, as you know, my favorite fine dining restaurants.
Wendy's.
Arby's. McDonald's.
You haven't been to Arby's in weeks. It's too far for you.
No, it's not true.
The parking lot you eat in doesn't even have a good view.
I ate inside an establishment today, and you're always burning me about eating my car, you know? Just sitting there and educating myself on NPR. You know? You hate to see someone do that?
Yeah, I do. Next item. Newest statue in Chehalis dedicated to the WFS girls fast pitch team. I like that Chehalis is so rich in statues that this headline has to denote newest, as if there are not only many statues in Chehalis, but so many that even calling it a new statue wouldn't set it apart from the wide variety of three-dimensional art currently adorning the Mint City grounds.
I don't know. I think Centralia has just as many statues, if
Name
not more.
one.
Reaching for the Stars, the one
Okay, that's
over
a
in
pretty
front
good
of
one.
Corbett Hall that is modeled after your body.
That's fair. It's a beautiful statue.
It's very accurate in the anatomical recreation.
You know, that's just rude of you.
No, there's also the George Washington statue. There's the two, I think, Centralia College founders. I don't have their names at the top of my head. I thought about, and we ask this every time it comes up, but if you could call for a new statue today, have Jim Stafford draw it up and get it placed, where's it going?
Just anything?
Yeah, anything locally.
I would just have him add a name tag to the Reach for the Stars statue.
Aaron VanTuyl reaches for the stars.
Yes.
I don't know why this popped into my mind, but just because I was a child of the Hub back in the day, I would take a Tim Filer, Justin Ames statue out there in front of the Hub when they reopen it.
Dancing on the bar or something?
Yeah, something. One of them dancing on the
good.
bar, the other one working the grill. Like, that was such an era, and I think that would. It's not like a callback to old Centralia. It's like a callback to like 10 years ago. You know, like just my young adulthood.
Yeah, that'd be a good statue.
Yeah, I think it'd be fine. That
Anyway.
or a Yardbird statue, like a proper one.
Yeah, I mean, if only there were a monument denoting
No, like
Yardbirds.
you need to put a stone one there just so they to make sure it never goes away.
All right, so this statue is a project from former Chehalis Foundation President Mike Austin and his wife Susan. They see their grandkids represented in every corner of Recreation Park. There's various statues that represent things their grandkids have done. This one is for a granddaughter who currently plays college softball in Michigan. And I tried to look it up, and I couldn't find out who that granddaughter was. I assume it was a recent WFS player.
Probably, yeah. We did not look that up. It was more of a photo package where I asked Emily just to type up some text to go along with it, but I thought it was cool. I think you're the sportsman, so is Mr. Austin correct that this is one of the most successful programs in Lewis County over time?
Yeah, I mean, they've won, I want to say, 3 state championships since 2010.
That's it's hard to top.
I think Mike Keene won 3 when he was there, at least 2, maybe 3. I can't remember, immediately. But yeah, they're one of the most prominent fast pitch teams in the 2A ranks in the state.
Who else is there? Napa Vine football?
Napa Vine football's won 3 since 2008.
So they got to be in there.
They're in the conversation, certainly.
And then if we include...
you can do Adna softball, PL Valley softball, or PL softball. They're both, in that same ballpark.
Tumwater football?
Sure.
You don't count Tumwater, huh?
The other one, you can throw Morton White Pass basketball in there. They won back-to-back, which is extremely tough to do.
Yeah, that's rare.
So,
Get those statues going, guys.
Yeah, get a Morton White Pass statue out there. Just Chad Kramer. Just give it a
Would it be
thumbs up.
too much to ask to have a Eric Schwartz statue if I hit like 40 years, out on the corner with like a cigarette in my hand? And I don't smoke anymore, but
I will sculpt it myself.
I want it to be like reaching for the stars, except for I'm reaching for a pack of
You're
cigarettes.
just reaching for a light.
Again, I don't smoke anymore.
No, congratulations.
Thank you.
Next item. Lewis County reports more than 5.6 million visitors in 2023. That's an uptick of 5.8% over 2022, according to data from Discover Lewis County, a tourism initiative created by the county, derided by Eric Schwartz in his capacity as editor of this newspaper, and now operated by the Economic Alliance of Lewis County. Thoughts?
No, you're fair. I'm glad you included that in there because I'm always a bit... Yeah, no, back when it was under the operation of Lewis County, when they first launched it, I was adamantly opposed to it, mostly because you couldn't say, what was funding it. At one point, we did a records request to ask for their budget line, and their budget line was 0,000,000, and it was just folded into other departments. I didn't think it was a great use of government dollars then, so it would be hypocritical of me to say otherwise now. It is out of the complete, government sector and into the semi-private sector with the Alliance now. But no, that is fair, and I'm glad you noted it. And I cannot deny that I was a big... you have to remember, they were defunding the senior centers at the time as well.
That's true.
So it was a question of priorities, I guess. But it still exists. I don't personally get on Discover Lewis County a whole lot, but I hope that...
Well, I don't think it's made for you. You've already discovered Lewis County.
I do hear their ads on NPR all the time. Aaron, you know that about me. I'm an NPR listener.
NPR guy, yeah.
An educated man. So, and they do have an ad on there. But, yeah, that's the thing.
Discover Lewis County has also introduced merchandise for each town in Lewis County.
It's a really good idea.
You can finally get that, Mossy Rock hat you've always wanted.
Is it true? Did they really? They got merchandise?
That was in the store, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I missed that part. I think that's a great idea.
Sure. Next item. Shayla's Flying Saucer Party. Organizers shoot commercial ahead of announcement of speakers. Looked like Tony Ketchum was in this commercial.
Mm-hmm.
The Flying Saucer Party is September 13th and 14th. It's organized by the Historical Museum along with Vince Minzunza. Am I pronouncing that correct?
That's how I would have done it, yeah.
Director of the Pacific North Weird YouTube channel and a local paranormal investigator. Podcast guest.
Hey, he'd probably be a really good one. Maybe when we get closer to it, we'll ask him if he's in town.
Yeah. This year's party also features the second annual Northwest Flying Saucer Film Festival, which began accepting submissions earlier this year. The winner gets a $300 prize.
I love this event. I'm glad that we're getting plenty of coverage. I was going to read more information from it, but I got it not found on the link that you have provided. Owen Sexton, our reporter, is going to be in the commercial. That was why we got this coverage, is they asked him to come out and contribute to it. So I'm sure we'll get a video of that up at some point. But I do love that I believe Kenneth Arnold, right? That's the flight that they're commemorating.
I think
when they do this. That's a thing. Like the fact that we didn't have a festival or event or something for the first use of the term flying saucer until this came along, it corrected a community wrong, I feel like. because that's a pretty big thing to put you on the map.
Next item.
Do you believe in aliens, Aaron?
Yes, but I don't think anybody has actually come in contact with one.
Okay, so you think Kenneth Arnold was a liar? Just to go on the record before his granddaughter comes here.
Did Kenneth Arnold say it was an alien or just a flying saucer or
flying
something?
saucer, yeah.
It could have been anything.
Lockheed Martin.
Yeah, like
That's what I've always assumed. I'm gonna be honest.
the frisbee.
It gives me a comfort. I just feel like this is something the U.S. has. So that's why we have so many sightings.
Next item. Crowd gathers for grand reopening of Sweet Dough Cookie Co. in Chehalis. The new location is 734 South Market Boulevard, next to Benny's Florist. They opened Saturday. There was a line a few blocks long. The secret ingredient in these cookies, opium.
It's not true. It's not true.
But what if it was? Wouldn't that be cool?
That line was wild. Chad Taylor, our owner and publisher, sent a video that he took just going by, and we shared it. And that is a wild, long line. She's only open once a week. That's not like a admonishment, but she cooks cookies all week, and then she's open at 9 a.m. until the cookies run out. That's the model. And it's a cool business. I miss having it in Centralia. I'll just say that. It was nice to have it as a hub city thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, being located right next to the flower show, it just makes sense. Like
It does. And yeah, when she was in Centralia on Main Street, there was, I'd go by like Saturday mornings and there'd be a line like a block long, just on, not even for grand openings, just, it is Saturday and there's a line outside. Yeah. I've never tried one of these cookies.
I haven't either. And as anyone who knows the business knows, she won 2 Food Network shows, like Christmas cookie challenges, I believe. The new location has 3,000 square feet of space, whereas her previous space was 800 square feet, so she just has a lot more room in there.
Yeah.
And I have to say, of all of our, we cover her because she's a local business and we do that. She's the most gracious person. Like every time we cover her, she pays us some sort of compliment, and I'm like, it's like a weird feeling because usually we're getting berated for something, or like it's just like, oh yeah, we did do a good job covering.
Well, I remember in the early days of the podcast, Jackson Gardner was our third wheel.
Yeah,
and he interviewed her about the cooking show she was on. And he just had nothing but great things to say. She's just great. Mm-hmm. She's, so nice. And she was also pretty sure she won, and so he spoiled it a little bit.
He did. He did.
She didn't. He did.
No, of course. Yeah, Jackson, great failure. No, the graciousness. We're not used to it, and it won't change the coverage. We would still cover you if you were not kind to us online. But, it's nice to see when it does happen. And she's got all the Chronicle articles up on her wall.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Next item.
Including Jackson Gardner's, I'm sure.
Next item. This could have gone in Siren's Banger of the Week, but I put it just in here.
Are you going to activate the soundboard on this one? Or?
I'm not.
Oh, come on. Bane?
Former... What, do you want me to pull it up? You read it. I'll pull the thing up.
Former Centralia employee accused of destroying emails, hacking into employee computers. Mark Bain was an IT guy at the city of Centralia from 2005 to 2023. He forwarded some emails to embarrass fellow employees, including a message from Police Chief Stacey Denham asking who is Miranda and what are her rights. Someone wrote up a document about his issues, and he logged into her computer to see it. Then he drilled holes in the server to destroy it and went on vacation.
The fire rises.
Bain is additionally accused of dumping urine and soda into a crack in the wall of his office, which stained the ceiling of the office below and caused, quote, an unpleasant odor.
Then I will break you.
Is that a crime? I've been doing that in the podcast studio for years. Damn it, you got me. I'd have to say, it's a good day. Not a good day, because crime's bad, and there's victims and damage and all of that. But when you get the prelims list, we get an emailed prelims list every day saying who's going to be in court for these new felony charges. When you see a charge that you've never seen before, and you've been doing it for 20 years, it's intriguing. So we saw, some charges that we'd never, computer trespassing, stuff like that, and didn't really know what to expect. And wow, wow, this guy. And then he was gainfully employed when he left in 2023. He still had an active LinkedIn and everything. Man, that just a wild collection of charges. The fact that
And you betrayed us.
That's what Denham was saying.
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Just yeah, he pretty much copped to it. It sounded like in court documents. He's like, yeah, I did it. But yeah, the idea that someone created a document that said, I think this guy's doing some messed up stuff, and he was so engaged into this computer hacking and screen stealing that he just deleted it. Just wild.
You know, if it weren't for all the malfeasance, it sounded like he was good at his job. If he knew that was going on and hacked in and was like, haha.
Has there ever been anyone that reminded you more of Newman's character on Jurassic Park? I'm not using the actor's name because I can't remember it.
Wayne Knight.
Yeah, Wayne Knight's character on Jurassic Park, where stealing the
No,
this is him. This is him.
That's a phenomenal poll.
That is him in the flesh. But
He's
man,
totally underappreciated in his time.
it didn't even make Sirens Banger of the Week. He's just a news item that tells you like the scale of his crimes.
Yeah, that was he was getting after it poorly.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna take a break.
Okay,
and
hold on. I know in this search situation, the urine and soda was being poured into a hole in the wall.
Go on.
But what if it was being poured into the roof of your house because of porous holes from weather damage or aged,
I would
roofing?
want my roof fixed.
You would want to get your roof fixed, and if that happened, who would you call?
I would call the roof doctor at 360-736-0246.
You call them out for an estimate, but how much would that cost? I feel like the estimate would be cost prohibitive.
Free, my man. You know this. You can also check them out online at www.theroofdoctor.com. They always ask, is your roof under the weather?
Or
roof
urine?
doctor. No, wait. Is urine roof under the weather? The roof doctor awaits your house call. They always give you free estimates.
It doesn't matter what type of roof need you need either. They do new roofing, they do re-roofing, they do roof repair, they do roof cleaning even. Get a little moss up there and you get that scrubbed out. I'm sure they'll come take care of it. And emergency roofing, which I've been in that position before. I didn't call the roof doctor, and you know what happened? I just blocked off one entrance to my home.
Well, if somebody's
ago,
up there dumping urine on my roof, I'm considering that an emergency.
Yeah, it is an emergency for sure. So,
all right, yeah, the roof doctor, theroofdoctor.com. Now, shall we take a break?
Hi, this is Jeff and Julie from Fairway Lanes.
Jeff and I met JSIC of Summit Funding at our bowling center, so when we fell in love with this community and it was time to relocate, we knew we would be calling Summit Funding.
They understand that everyone has a unique situation when buying a home.
He had already helped 2 of our employees get into their own homes. The Summit Funding team exceeded our expectations. It was a seamless experience with great communication from his whole team.
Thank you to Summit Funding for making our buying experience special and memorable.
All right, we're back. It's time for segments. First up, Tales from the Takes page.
oh boy.
And we've been blessed with some commentary from your hero, John McCroskey.
Your notes are girthy on this one, so I'm just going to let you go. So I won't interrupt you.
Headline, college students throw tantrums as some call for ludicrous loan forgiveness. This is a quote from his column. Seeing so many young adults acting like tantrum-throwing children just makes you proud, doesn't it? And our president, bless his generous heart with other people's money, is canceling, rather transferring, student debt from many of these young adults to folks just like me. Question, Schwartz. Where was Johnny Boy on January 6th? I didn't see a column from him about that. Speaking of tantrums and presidents.
Hands off, just go.
More from McCroskey. I watch enough news to be informed. Hard disagree. He says, in 1972, when I graduated from high school, I received a small scholarship but still couldn't afford school. It's worth noting the only period in the last century where college costs dropped was from 1972 to 1980. In 72, the average cost of tuition at a 4-year school, adjusted for inflation, was about $6,000. Today, it's over $17,000. Clearly, this is the student's fault. He writes, one of my sons graduated from Western. After that, I received requests for the honor of donating even more money to them. His own kids couldn't pay for their own college, and he's ripping kids with student loans? Must be nice with that taxpayer's salary.
Hey, we're not taxpayer. Yeah, we pay him by the column.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. That's his column money.
I promise
all
not
went
to talk.
Western.
I promise not to talk.
He writes, so here we are watching young people who have no idea in many cases what they are protesting, throwing temper tantrums, making childish demands, and asking for amnesty too. Sir, have you ever read your own column? And finally, it closes out, if these rioters have learned anything in their privileged lives, it's their actions have had little or no consequences so far in life. And one day soon, our government will protect that kind of behavior because that's what they do. Buddy, the government is out there dragging kids off of campuses. You just said you watched the news. Come on, be consistent. Go ahead.
Fair takes. It resonated with a lot of people, but it also generated that response from a lot of readers as well, or a similar response, I would say. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to add. I was sharing with you, I still have a little bit of college loans I'm paying for, which is pretty crazy and somewhat embarrassing to admit at my advanced age.
And so,
but I wouldn't be mad if they like forgave someone else's loans. I would be more like,
what about mine?
Good for them. I wouldn't be mad about it, I guess. But I don't know. I also do get frustrated seeing it's like the current situation at the University of Washington, at least the scenes we're seeing on television, vandalism, things like that. I could get feeling that way, and this is an opinion piece. It's John McCroskey's opinion.
I agree. The vandalism, bad.
Yeah, and it's like very rampant as well. Just not a good look. And at least in the University of Washington situation, they aren't dragging them off, so that's probably what they're thinking of. But also, I will say with this like protest movement, I think it has been treated differently by the media, as people would say, which usually doesn't really account for like the Chronicle and that size of publication, more like CNN, Fox News, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But it seems like there has been a lot more criticism of the vandalism and destruction than we see in some other protests. So,
yeah, I don't know. Every time I see a college protest and people speaking out and complaining about it, I think, when have college protesters ever in history's lens looked like they were in the wrong?
Yeah, I could see that. I might disagree in this situation, but my father, who is extremely conservative, was down visiting recently. I think it was as the Columbia University students were being dragged out of the hall that they had set up. Mm-hmm. And I appreciated his take because we were watching it, and it was like breaking news, and they're replacing the chyron or every 2 seconds as far as what's happening. Uh-huh. And he was just like, it's a college students protesting. It's what they're supposed to do. Yeah, he was just like, I don't understand why this is news. Like,
I'm with your dad on this.
They just do this over whatever the most recent news item is. Like, it's
part of being in college. Is finding what you want to be active about. It's what drives your politics later in life.
I appreciate that take, but I could also see if you're someone who's like struggling to repay a loan of a different sort, or you have already repaid your college loan, how you could develop this take.
Yeah, well, everybody knows the government's never forgiven any other kind of loan ever.
Oh, I know. And never given a subsidy either.
No.
But I do appreciate John McCroskey. I continue to appreciate the fact that we have his column. One former Chronicle employee, I think, put it best that majority of Lewis County residents deserve to hear someone who agrees with them from time to time.
Yeah, thank God, finally. I don't have a People's Champion of the Week. Do you have one?
I got kind of a cool one. So I think it's the editor of former Crosscut, which is now, what is that called now?
It's still Crosscut, isn't it?
Yeah.
Axios?
No, it's PBS. It's a PBS mixture now. I'm Cascade PBS or something like that. They sent me a tip. The Denver Post had a story about, it was actually an obit about one of their great reporters who had died at the age of 89. Her name is Marilyn Robinson. And within the obit is Marilyn Faith Robinson was born in Centralia. Her father died when she was 13, and she helped her mother manage a household and 3 brothers. She was a valedictorian of her high school class and played the clarinet. She attended the University of Washington and worked during the summer of her junior year at the Chronicle.
Hell yeah.
And it just seems like you read her obit, and I really appreciate the work that Bruce Fenley, the author, did, because he talked to a lot of the police sources she worked with. She was a law enforcement reporter, and they had nothing but just like wonderful things to say about her compassion, her empathy, her skill in writing. And then you get like these classic anecdotes from the newsroom. One of them was she once said, "There's a body in the river. Do we care?" She once chimed in to nobody in particular, which they called Marilynisms. And if you've worked in a newsroom, you would get how that would come up from time to time. And it's not like cold or mean or anything. It's just you work in a newsroom and that kind of stuff happens. And the story's up on Cronline now. We were able to republish it through McClatchy's Tribune content share, and it's a really good story. I would suggest going in and reading it. And as a former Chronicle intern myself, I hope to have half of the legacy that she clearly has to get this sort of treatment upon her death. But great reporter, once worked in this very building. I think she deserves our People's Champion of the Week.
I agree. She's great. All right. Sirens banger of the week. Obviously, we didn't go with the old wall pisser. I have gone with the 3 bear sightings off of Prospect last week. This was from the Friday News Sirens Roundup. And my question is, do you really need to call the cops for this? What are they going to do?
I don't know. I get the impulse to call. Like, you would think calling the cops might, like, maybe tell more people that there's a bear if you got, like, a small animal or something, I guess. Or, you need to close up your garbage cans, secure your picnic baskets.
I mean, I just think of the Super Trooper scene where the guy is dressed in a... I'm not going to go into detail, but,
Highly inappropriate. No, but it does call to mind, Aaron. If you're walking on a trail, do you prefer to see a bear or a man?
Obviously, prefer to see a man who identifies as a bear.
I would like to see the bear, honestly, just because I've only seen like 4 or 5 bears. Well, I've seen a lot more bears than that, but
there was a comment on a thread about that, and a guy went into detail explaining why it was obviously worse to see a bear. And he's like, if you're hiking, for example, and you see a polar bear, and I was like, where are you hiking that you are seeing a polar bear?
I mean, I kind of adjusted take to that. Like, I get. It's sad that is a whole viral like thing now because women don't feel safe. That's not fun or funny or anything like that. But yeah, grizzly bear or man, I think you got to go with the man on that situation. Place. But black bear, I'll take the black bear. 9 times out of 10,
it's very confusing that black bears are not always black and brown bears are not always brown.
Yeah, well, that's true. There's also Pizzly bears. Have you heard about them?
No.
Polar bears and grizzly bears interbreeding. It's a whole new like bear. I'm not making that up. That's like a real thing. Look it up.
Do you want to talk about Shayla's outfitters? I feel like you're making that up.
If you approach a Pizzly bear in the wild and
I hope you're outfitted with some bear spray from Shayla's Outfitters.
No,
gun.
It was gun. We were going towards gun. Now, I don't know that they appreciate my gun-heavy advertising.
I don't think they're upset about it.
First of all, the Chehalis Outfitters ads will be in the Thursday edition of the Chronicle.
They have coupons?
4 full pages of them. I think there's some coupons in there, but also just like the biggest deals. So make sure to pick that up. They're still pushing their Mother's Day sale currently on their website, but generally they'll run that ad, and then they have a whole set of new deals. I wish Kody was here. He was just decked out in Chehalis Outfitters gear.
He always is.
Yeah. It's his exclusive.
You'll never see
provider.
Kody shooting an event because he's always in full camo.
Yeah. Well, not camo. It could be a Carhartt shirt. It could be, could be any number of things. It could be just carrying his clam gun that he purchased at Chehalis Outfitters.
Well, didn't he send you a photo of himself at the Aurora Borealis, and it was like he was decked out in everything but a Carhartt shirt because he'd taken his Carhartt shirt off.
One doesn't look at the Aurora Borealis with a shirt on. Everyone knows that. Go to Chehalis Outfitters on Facebook to follow their latest deals. Pick up a copy of the Chronicle on Thursday. They'll all be in there as well. This is what I got to say on Chehalis Outfitters.
All right, Facebook comments of the week. These are these are kind of fun. First one, on all the visitors to Lewis County, this commenter says, credit card statements, traffic to the national parks, traffic to the events the CIA and the NSA know where all of us are at all times, and we have no privacy, just like when God watches us when we're naked. And I was like, what kind of a take is this?
This person has issues that they're working out, and I don't want to criticize them, but who amongst us hasn't thought, I'm naked, God's watching?
And also maybe the CIA.
I don't know. Maybe this is like a byproduct of like the timed entry at Mount Rainier where you now have to get like a reservation.
I don't know.
They just want to know where you're at all times.
Yeah,
Aaron.
I'm sure that's it.
It's not like the, too many visitors leaving trash and things.
Yeah. And then there was a story about a wolf from Wolf Haven, I believe, being re-released somewhere else. It sounded like they were taking it back to North Carolina, where it was originally from.
It was a Wolf Haven American red wolf, and I can already tell this comment doesn't hit right because there's like 28 of these bad boys like free. It's not like a population that's causing anyone any heartache right now.
Oh, this commenter says, They all need to die or stay away from here. Plain and simple. Won't be good if a wolf sees me around. Great comment from the boy who cried, I could beat up a wolf. Like a wolf's going to be walking into Shayless Outfitters and go, oh shit, it's Riker from Facebook. I knew I recognized that fake mustache. Ow!
When I was working in Montana, I went to take my dog to a vet at one point, and I struck up conversation with the lady at the counter. I think I had like a Daily Interlake shirt on, which was the name of the paper at the time. And she was just like very quietly, and she's just like, don't tell anyone, but we've got wolf pups here right now. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, they brought in wolf pups, and if anyone found out about it, there's going to be like huge rallies and protests here. And I was just like, yeah, the wolves are controversial, man. It's like just like the grizzly bears that they're foisting upon us up in the North Cascades.
Yeah. They're only there to disrupt the food supply,
They're going to fully avail themselves of our picnic baskets. I'll tell you what. Don't say I didn't warn you.
I saw a grizzly bear in line at Sweet Dough Cookie Co. just on Saturday. Comment on the story about the Centralia IT guy who maybe peed in the wall. This guy says not all heroes wear capes.
The predominant comment on that story was simply, and I'm not going to say it, but it was just, what the F?
Yeah.
Like everybody was really taken aback by that.
And then one last on one of the initial posts about Sweet Dough Cookie Co.'s grand opening. 99% of these comments were very just glowing, and as they should be. And this commenter writes, only open 1 day a week, and that's the line? Nope. There's a business I'll never go to. Clearly, she's missing here. If only she had impressed Greg from Facebook, things would be different.
Yeah, I saw that too. And the Sweet Dough Cookie Co. is very good about it. Well, I assume it's the owner, Ashley Shire.
I'm sure.
But very good about responding to those. And I think she responded to that comment with something to the effect, it's really awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're solidly Team Sweet Dough Cookie Co. around here, though. I have to say that.
Anyway, what's in the next edition? It's Tuesday. What's coming up Thursday?
We've got a lot of new content since you crafted these notes. Relay for Life is coming up on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. at the Southwest Washington
You've been walking a lot.
I have. I put in
stepping out
3 miles today, Aaron.
Ooh.
Yeah, I did. It was very hard work. I love the sound of the train, by the way.
Yeah, I like that.
As we broadcast live from the train tracks.
From high above the newsroom.
We'll just do the most recent news that we have on Chronline. We had 13 people indicted in a drug trafficking operation that included a seizure in Lewis County that was not previously reported. This is the feds. This is not our local law enforcement, but apparently on March 24th, we don't know exactly where it was at, but 14 kilos of cocaine and a firearm were seized. Also, the news release didn't say which agency, but they did thank the Centralia Police Department in the news release, so I have to think that this was a bit of a JNet operation. We have some... How do you feel about the 2020 election, Aaron? I'm just joking. We had
I still have questions.
Chehalis man was convicted today for repeat voting in the 2022 general election. Voted once in Oregon, once in Washington. Got a trial with no jury, I think it's called a bench trial, but just with a judge, and was found guilty, and that is a felony, so there will be sentencing for that.
Did they tell you who he voted for? I'm not casting aspersions. I'm just curious if that's part of the court records.
They didn't, and I'm not sure if this is still the case, but when we first wrote about this charge, you could search the gentleman's name on Facebook and get a pretty good idea on who they support.
I have an idea then.
It was not Joe Biden. But maybe that's not the case. Could misread it, but did look it up, and that was the case. What else do we got going on here? Lewis County Parent to Parent engages in Onalaska elementary students with presentation on autism. This is a Brandon Hansen joint. This is one of the women that gave the presentation was the author of that book. What was it called? The Happy Flappy Child. It was one of my favorite stories we've had recently, just about autism and putting it in those words. And there's a nice little anecdote in the story on a kid who usually is really like rambunctious in class, who has just listened intently the entire time to this whole presentation, and then at the end told all of his classmates that he also he has autism, and it just seemed like a very wholesome thing. Brandon did a good job on that story. We got a story from Emily on the next final spring musical out of Rochester for the year, Out of Towners. Sounds like a lot of fun. Just a lot of good stuff. I mean, those are the highs and lows of it. We got a Centralia man who was accused of pointing a BB pistol at someone's face and demanding that they, quote, run their pockets, which I'm going to probably do to you as soon as this podcast is over.
Like an old-timey...
I don't know. But he got charged with a felony for that. Sounds like rightfully so. If I'm walking around, on my 3-mile walk around Centralia because I'm healthy now, I don't need a BB gun shoved in my face. That looks like a real gun.
Ruffians.
Yeah. We've got a full story on the latest Bob Ferguson's, plural.
Oh, good.
Drama. Yeah, lots of good stuff. A little teaser. I haven't seen the story. I don't think it's even written yet, but apparently Lewis County is suing Chehalis over the matter of the homeless shelter that they plan to build in Chehalis or locate in Chehalis.
I see.
Mitchell's working on that one, and we should have that in time for the paper on Thursday. If not, it will definitely be in the weekend edition.
I'm sure those arguments will be reasonable and fact-based.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know why you would ever doubt that. Yeah, that's the highs and lows of it. Lots of good stuff. Thursday is going to be a very strong paper. I already know it.
All right. Well, one last time.
Aurora Borealis.
I'm still getting pictures sent to me.
We're sponsored by Summit Funding, Chehalis Outfitters, and the Roof Doctor. Leave a review and rating on Apple Podcast if you want, or send us an email at chroniclenewsdump@gmail.com.
At this time of year, at this time of day,